everybody, Marisa here with discoverintuition.com, and I can see with Marisa and Joe. There's my dad over
Hey,
there.
folks.
He's
Hello,
down in
everybody.
Mexico, and I'm in Vegas. And we're here to do another one of our shows. We were just talking about a bunch of stuff about the world and stuff like that. And we're like, oh, we just talked about everything instead of talking about it online. But I was getting messages from the guides that I didn't really necessarily want to share online. But I guess it's okay to kind of talk about what's going on in the world. Like you said, Trump said they have a certain amount of time to let our hostages go. So there may be some chaos in the world going on right now.
Yeah, Trump gave a deadline yesterday or the day before of 12 noon on Saturday. If the hostages are not released in Gaza by 12 noon on Saturday, all hell's going to break loose. So
Oh, great.
it's gonna. Although he did say he would defer to Israel. If Israel doesn't want a major attack, then we won't have a major attack. But if Israel goes along with it, and I think Israel, Netanyahu, um, said he goes along. He put the same deadline out there. So all
Who's
all
that?
hell's
Netanyahu.
gonna break loose. Something crazy is going. But we're right on it, aren't? Isn't tomorrow? Tomorrow's 14th, isn't it? 13th, 12th.
Yeah, actually. Well, yeah, that's the thing that I was talking. Well, I guess I can share this. It's not like I'm like, I'm not God and I'm not talking to God. I'm just talking to my intuition and the guides. But I was trying to figure out something the other day when I was in church, and the guides keep talking about how everything's going to shift and change. February. Well, we figured out it was February 14th, right? Because they kept saying like in
Well, you gave
168
us,
days or.
about 90 days ago, you said, okay, in like 95 days or something like that. And then I calculated and I said, that's February 14th. That's Valentine's Day. And every time you've come in, you've and had another session, and then you brought that topic up again, you'd say, okay, in 68 days. And I would calculate and I go, oh, yeah, that's February 14th.
It's funny.
So
That's
every
funny.
time, every time you came up with a time frame, it always came back to February 14th. So
Interesting.
something crazy is going to happen after February 14th. I don't know
Well,
what. And
what the
maybe,
guides keep saying
oh,
is
you
they
know
keep.
what? You've got a couple things on because I can hear me.
Oh, you can hear you.
Yeah, I could hear me coming out of your speakers or something. Not anymore.
Oh,
Not
okay,
now.
good. Oh, okay.
Was
Well,
for a second
so with
there.
the guides, what I was doing this weekend, I was at church and we were learning about eros and philios and agape and all these little things or whatever. And I guess that means love or something like that. But anyways,
Agape
and
is God's love.
oh, okay. Okay. So we were learning about that. So I have that like written down there in the thing. But then I was trying to look at like finances and this and that. No specifics or whatever. I told Jeff I was going to like kind of like look at finances because he never listens to me about my intuition. And I never listen to myself really when it comes to my intuition. Usually, I mean, I'll listen to our channelings and I'll be like, oh, wow, I should have listened to myself back then. So I've taken my advice since the guide's advice since COVID, when we didn't listen to the guides, when we didn't realize that what they were saying was real, and they were basically predicting COVID and saying everything was going to go nuts if we didn't get the Christ consciousness mass media explosion out there, and people didn't go
Right.
into the forgiveness. Everybody did not go into forgiveness. Everyone went into judgment and fear and all that stuff. So we did exactly the opposite of what we were supposed to do. But anyway, so now I'm taking him seriously, and I'm taking this little deadline that they're giving us, February 14th or 15th, seriously. And what they keep saying is that people that are not activated, that have not activated their crown chakras, that have not activated their like chakra system, are going to feel sick. So the only thing I can think of is that they're going to say there's another pandemic, right? Because the back in December of 2019 was 7 years after 12 right? Which was the end of the Mayan calendar, the end of the world as we know it. Like all of our books are about 12 like the end of the world as we know it. We all became empathic. We all could feel each other stuck. We all got thrown into the astral plane. Well, then in 7 years later in 19, we all got thrown into creator consciousness to where we could create our own realities. Like we got to practice in the astral plane for like 7 years. And then we got thrown into creator consciousness. And what we did was we created complete hell on earth because everybody was so negative and fearful and just like nobody nobody knew how to be positive. So that's why I think the guides keep saying just stay positive, stay positive, stay positive. Otherwise, you're going to create like hell for yourself. Well, I think that this shift now is shifting us completely into like our upper chakras. Like I think that they used to say that there's no coincidence that they called it the coronavirus because it was the crown. Everybody was being shoved from like their solar plexus up into the crown chakra, and crown is corona and sun and all that stuff. But I think that we're really going into like our full energy system. Like we've been living in like this little tiny version of ourselves inside of ourselves. And the earth is expanding into its full self. So it's going to force everybody that's on it to expand into their full self. And if we aren't activated in those areas, we're going to either feel like we're like missing a head or like we're like missing, like we're going to feel like we're missing parts of our body. And the only thing I can think of is I can relate it to my sister who keeps going through this stuff where yesterday, right before our show, I went, oh my gosh, I felt what she felt. Papa, it was crazy. It was like I felt
She,
like somebody had blown a hole through my entire left side of my body with a cannon. Like I felt like I had no heart and no like shoulder blade. Like it just felt like I or a shark had bit me and eaten that part of my body off. I had to like go outside and get grounded and like reconnect to myself because I was feeling what she was feeling. And I'm
oh,
going like, oh my God, that's no fun to feel what she's feeling. It just felt like like the whole side of her body was gone, and then my head felt all swishy and weird and like it like throbbing and my ears were ringing. So I went outside and I went, am I in Holly's field? And they said yes. And so I said, okay, get me back in my field and blah 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 whatever. So I told her after, I said, I'm feeling what I felt, what you felt. That's no fun. I can see why you've been down laying in bed a lot, because it just wasn't a fun feeling. But it's kind of that's all the upper chakras. If they're not activated, you're going to feel weird up in the heart, the throat, and the head. So I'm wondering if people are having symptoms or issues with like their heads or their your ear went bad, but is it coming back or is it still
no,
bothering you?
it's still dead. I can't hear. I think I have about 5 or 10% hearing in my right ear.
Oh geez.
And
Let me
I've prayed
see.
about it and I've asked if this is meant to be. I guess it's meant to be. But if it's not meant to be, I sure would like you guys to heal me because I know Jesus can heal me just like that. He's done it
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
So
exactly.
if this ear is not meant to be blocked, then they would heal it for me. I have that much faith. But
Yeah,
they haven't. So there must be some reason for it. So I don't complain about it. It's just one
yeah.
of those things.
So I wonder if that, because what I always see is I always see that everybody, like if I look at everybody, I kind of see like this being that looks like Alpheus. Remember the big tall guy with like the cane? He looks like Father Time. But I always see this big tall guide and people, and I can see everybody watching the show right now. I can see everyone. They've got this big tall guide standing on the left side of them, and they're just standing there with the little person in front of them. So the guide is there, and they have their little person there standing in the heart, and the person's in their heart staring like almost like into a reflection over on the right hand side. So the right hand side of our body is just a reflection of who we think we are. So it's just our physical body. And Jesus used to always say, you guys are living in a world that thinks that you live in your right leg. Remember, he used to say, you guys live in a world full of people who think that they live in their right leg. And we were like, huh? What does that mean? And I
Yeah.
think it's just that we live in a reflection of ourselves. And if but the left side of us, oh, Holly, that was all missing. I don't know. Well, anyway, so I wanted to ask the guides about that, and I wanted to make sure that everybody was able to like connect in with whatever they need to connect in with, so that nobody has weird reactions. I wanted to ask about that. I also wanted to ask about Peter because I finished reading our book of Peter, and it's
Uh-huh.
good. Did you ever read any of it?
No, no.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's like, hi, sir.
Well,
It's
don't forget, I read the whole book of Revelation, the Peter's book of
yeah.
Revelation when we did the channeling.
Right, yeah, but see, I never remember the channeling, so I didn't remember what you read, and I didn't remember what came out of my mouth. So it's a really good, it's really good. It's just good. So I'm gonna put it on our website and sell it for like $5 or something like that, and just see if people want to buy it. But it's very good. But I wanted to ask about Christ again because they mentioned something in the book of Peter about John the Baptist. I think don't they talk about John the Baptist, or are they talking about the other John?
Who? Where? What are you
In,
talking
in
about?
in the book of Peter, the Revelations with Peter, doesn't he talk about John in that? Is he talking about John the Baptist, or he's talking about John the uh
No, if anything, he'd be talking about John the Baptist. He wouldn't be talking about his apostle friend John.
oh,
Um,
okay, yeah, because I think that
yeah,
that's
so I just don't remember what he said about John the Baptist.
When I was reading it, all I heard was John the Baptist was actually Christ, and then Christ moved over to Jesus, and then that's kind of what's happening on the planet at this time, like on the 14th, 15th. It's like the Christ consciousness is moving into and onto all the people that are open and available and ready to receive it.
Well, we
And
were told in a we were told through you in a
Mhm.
channeling session. I don't know, maybe 2 months, 3 months, 4 months ago, or whatever. We got into this subject about Christ entering into the body of Paul. You know, when
Uh-huh.
when he was blinded by Jesus. So Jesus or Paul was then inhabited by Christ, and Christ let us know at that time that he's basically incorporated. He is incarnated in about like 6 people at any given time.
Oh,
So
oh,
Christ is already in certain people on the earth right now. We don't know who they are. We don't know what the reasoning is that Christ has decided to enter into different. But we've also been told many times that our souls can be changed out. Our
yeah.
souls can go, you know what? I'm tired of this guy, Joe. You know, he never listens to me. He won't listen to me. Is there anybody else that'd like to try to take over? And souls can switch. They can switch. I don't know if the spirit can switch, but souls can switch. So
The
what
spirit
happened
cannot.
was Paul had a soul that wasn't a very good soul because he was out there killing Christians. And then Jesus, blinded him for 3 days. And then when he got his sight back, he was now incarnated with Christ. His soul disappeared, and Christ, the soul of Christ, if I could make it that simple,
Yeah.
came into Paul. But I remember him telling us that Christ is in up to 6 people at any given time. At
Interesting.
any given time. Maybe he's not in anybody right now, but he could be
Oh,
in
he is.
6 people, but we don't know who those people are.
Well, what they're saying
I,
is the
I gotta I
collective.
gotta believe I gotta believe that he's probably in Trump because
He's in
after the
Earth. I just heard it's in Earth.
he's in Earth, Christ is in
He's
Earth.
is in Earth, and then nobody like in like the politics or whatever. There's nobody in politics that that soul is specifically like inside of, but it's inside
Uh-huh.
of Earth right now. So it's Earth. Anybody that's connected with Earth and on Earth, obviously, which is everybody, are susceptible to being able to embody the Christ consciousness now, is what they're saying. So we're able to rise above yeah, petty like angers and just old petty little things that would just get you all like aggravated before. It's like going to be a lot easier to just kind of step out of that and step into like forgiveness, compassion, strength, hope, all those things that come with being Christ. But those that are not connected, those that are ungrounded, they're saying the ones that are ungrounded and not connected, they're only connected to their body, they're not connected to the earth, are going to have, are able to, will not be as able to connect in with that Christ consciousness. Interesting. They were just telling us like a few weeks ago to not worry about having to connect with earth so much as connecting with our body or staying inside of our body. And now they're saying if you're not connected to earth, then you're not connected to Christ consciousness. Oh, it's Christ is in all the planets, and all the planets are in alignment.
Yeah, we're going through that right now. The basically our solar system is lined up right now.
Kind of
Um,
cool.
I think it happens like every 50 years or something like that,
Huh.
where they'll line up like this. But anyway, you know what you were mentioning earlier? Few things. You were going to ask some questions. You want to ask some questions, or I can ask you a
No, you go
question?
ahead and ask. You go ahead and ask. Because I'm in channel mode, so now I've already forgotten what I was going to ask. So you go ahead and ask.
I don't consider myself New Age, even though I guess most people think that what we're doing is New Age.
Yeah.
But I've never considered myself New Age. I've always just considered myself a follower of Christ. And so I'm not I'm not really schooled on chakras. I don't know why I have to need to know them because I'm Christian and I put my faith in Christ. Um, but as we do this, you talk about chakras all the time. How do chakras relate to the everyday Christian? Why should a Christian know anything about chakras?
Okay, so why should a Christian know about the liver? Or why should they know about a stomach? Or why should they know about a heart or a throat or an ear or an eye? It's just a part of the anatomy, is what it is. And you can call it a chakra, that's more Sanskrit. That's more of like the Sanskrit term for it, but it's just an energy center. It's a part of the energetic body. And most Christians will just talk about the Holy Spirit, or they'll talk about the breath of God, or they'll talk about the so it's like, yeah, the breath of God, the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit would be the same thing that many would call like chi or life force or prana. There's just all different terms for the same exact thing. So when the Christian is connected in with the Holy Spirit, that's the life force energy that runs through them. Now, hey, now, as far as like the Kundalini, there's the Kundalini. This is the new agey term, but this is more, again, this is like yogis know about the Kundalini. The Kundalini is like the serpent that comes into the garden for Adam and Eve. The serpent comes in and tempts them and brings them into a state of duality when they leave the place that they're in up in paradise. So the Kundalini is a serpent-like shaped energetic system that goes around the spine and leads up from the bottom chakras all the way up into the upper chakras. New Age people will call it a Kundalini awakening. When people awaken and all of a sudden they can see their spirit, or they can feel their spirit, or they can see spirits and they can see the stuff around them. So it's just a, for the average Christian, they don't want to see things. They don't want to feel things. They don't want to experience things that are outside of the box of Christ, Holy Spirit, God the Father. They are not as comfortable with intuition, with gut feelings, with things of this sort. So they wouldn't necessarily be interested in the chakra system. But the chakra system is intertwined into your body, and it's attached to all the adrenal glands, it's attached to all the physical organs within the body. So we think that Christians should take an interest in their energetic anatomy, because if they did, they would see that it would help them indeed. So it's understanding that when you have that cinched feeling in your throat, where you feel like you're choking, if somebody's angry with you, that's your chakra. That's because you're connecting with that person at that level. If you feel like your chest is real heavy, or you have that gut feeling in your stomach, or you have that swirling in your head, or you tickling on your forehead, these are all the energy centers within your body. It's like the people that never knew what their organs were, and they just thought things were just magical, that things would happen with their bodies back before people understood science. It's the same thing if you look at some of the religions, when they look at the metaphysical world and they say, oh, that's just all just craziness, or that's just all magical. And really it's not. It's just the energetic anatomy of a human being. They're showing me the crown is the crown chakra is the shiny part of like when people become Christed, or when the angelics have like the halo on their head. They're showing me that that's when people have reached, their energy is gone from all the way at the bottom of their body and has all reached all the way up to the top of their head, and their spirit has grown into their entire body, and it illuminates their head. That's interesting. So religion, this is me asking them. So religion's more like, it's like kind of like not kindergarten, but it's more just like man's definition, or man's way of looking at God. And Peter goes, no, it's not kindergarten. He says it's more like the sixth grade. Okay. And then it's like looking at if you want to be healthy, then you eat right, and you drink your fluids, and you do this and that. But if you really want to learn about it, then you learn about all the organs, and you learn about what food does to you and all these things. And religion isn't necessarily that. It's just learning how to, just drink your fluids, pray, and stay connected to God. But it's not learning all the intricacies of it. But but what Peter's saying is, but Revelations actually takes you through the seven seals, and those seven seals are the seven chakras.
Okay, it's in the Bible. It's in Revelation. So, when John is talking about seals,
Mm-hmm.
that technically is chakras. Is that
Yes,
right?
yes.
Wow,
I wonder what
wow.
the seven seals are. I wonder if if he calls them out by, or do you remember what he calls the seals or what he
It's
says
all
about?
tied in with the horses too. Um,
Oh,
so I remember reading about it. Nobody really understands the Book of Revelation. Nobody does. Every theologian thinks he knows what John was talking about, but it's an ongoing discussion. Nobody really knows what the Book of Revelation really relates to. And but we do know that God gave all that to John, and
yeah.
Constantine decided that he would rather have. Oh, I hear my voice in the background. I don't
You
know why.
do?
Yeah,
Maybe,
I hear
maybe make
something.
sure.
Do you have a radio or something on back there?
But I can make sure that I have my echo control off. Let me see.
Oh, I wonder if it's me. I wonder.
Maybe.
I wonder if I have headphones. See, I just heard me.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I'm on a different browser. I can switch over to Chrome because it
Nah,
doesn't.
never mind. It's not that big a deal because
Okay.
it's not like feedback back. You know what
That's
I
the
mean?
worst when you can hear yourself when you're talking, though. I can't handle that. When I'm talking to someone on the phone, I can hear myself talking.
Yeah.
Uh, Let me just see if I can.
No, it's
If it's
not that
easy.
big a deal.
Okay. All
As,
right.
as long as it isn't bothering anybody else, it's okay.
If you guys could comment in the comment section, let us know if it's echoing or if you guys can hear everything okay. That'd be great.
We had a lot of people on live with us yesterday. I didn't realize that.
Oh, we did? I
Yeah.
think we have like 20 on with us right now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, which is kind of cool because most people watch this later on, when they're getting
Oh,
ready
now
for
it's
bed
echoing.
or whatever.
Now it's
But
echoing.
to get anything more than 10 or 15, I mean, there are
Uh,
people who get like I think a value tainment. Patrick Bet David, he goes, "Okay, we're live. All right, we got 50 people out there." Well, at the end, if I watch that show, 2 days later, 3 days later, it'll show that there were 1 million viewers,
wow.
and yet when they were on the air, they're going, "Okay, we got 50 people. Let's go." You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Even big people don't get necessarily a lot of people watching when they first record whatever their podcast or whatever. So anyway, I was surprised we had as many people as we did yesterday.
Cool.
But I guess not. People are curious.
Mhm. Yeah, I think so. With everyone says she does hear an echo, but it's not too bad. Oh, Marissa hears an echo. Someone else hears an echo. Someone else says our it sounds fine.
Oh,
Um,
good. Okay.
so some people are hearing it, some people are not. That's very interesting. Um, okay. Someone says, can you ask the guides whether Michael Murdad from the Global Center of Christ Consciousness is a good source for information? Who's that? Must be
Michael,
some
who?
sort of Michael Murdad.
I don't know who that is.
Um,
Who's asking? Oh, hey, Marissa Carter's there. Hi, Marissa
yeah, I know,
Carter.
I know. I got happy when I saw her name.
Oh,
Um,
I haven't seen Marissa in a long time. We passed. We're like two ships passing in the night. I was coming into Las Vegas, what, about a year or so ago,
mhm.
and Marissa and her husband were there doing
Right,
something
that's right.
in Las
Yes,
Vegas, and we just didn't get a chance to connect up. I told her next time she comes to Vegas, make sure she lets us know ahead of time.
that's
But
right. Yeah.
anyway,
There's my phone over there. If it's echoing for people, I don't want it to be an issue. I can always switch phones, or I can switch browsers. It's because I'm on
you're
Firefox. I'm using
not
Firefox.
you're not echoing. I
Oh,
am.
okay. Oh,
So if I can shut up. You had some questions you wanted to ask
well, see
Peter.
when
Go.
Michael Murdat. Okay, when I see somebody who's connected in and they're channeling source, Anna, I see like a direct line coming in. I see almost like a tree, like a big, huge, like broccoli tree, and it's up above them. And if I see like a weird broccoli tree, okay, I see like a tree above people, and I see that information coming in like wisdom or whatever, right? I guess the tree is wisdom. With him, I see broccoli, a broccoli tree, and I know that broccoli is not real. Broccoli is like not a real. They made broccoli, right? It's a manufactured vegetable. They had to make it, right? It's not naturally. The broccoli doesn't just grow naturally. I think they made it out of cauliflower and something else. So for some reason, I'm seeing that he's
I
channeling
like
whatever's.
broccoli. I like broccoli
I like it
raw.
too.
I like it raw with
I like it with
ranch
ranch.
dressing.
Yeah, ranch.
I
We say at
can't
the same time.
stand any vegetable cooked. Any vegetable. No,
Either do I.
any
I find
any
it
green
tasteless.
any green vegetable cooked is terrible. to me.
It sucks that I got your taste buds and Madison got mine. So now none of us like could cook vegetables. But
Well, they're good. They're good raw. I like vegetables raw, so I like salads. But
yeah, oh
I
good.
just don't like it cooked. Maybe a quick fry, a stir fry, real quick.
Ooh, yum, that sounds good. I'm hungry.
Yeah,
Thinking about
yeah,
food.
a quick stir fry isn't bad at all. I mean, as long as it's still crunchy, as long as they're still crunchy. Anyway,
Oh,
okay, I've
Holly
changed.
shared the best thing with me yesterday. Is a pesto sauce. It's a lemon and pesto pasta from Trader Joe's. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the best thing I've ever tasted. Like in the recent like history, I was like, this is like the best thing I've ever tasted. It's just pasta and a pesto sauce, and it's like a pasta with lemon inside of it. And I haven't tasted anything that good in a very long time. I'm gonna go buy that as soon as I'm off here and make it for
Hmm.
everyone tonight because it was so good. So good. So this guy, I'm seeing he's pulling in false information sometimes, but he's channeling and he's pulling in information, but it doesn't feel like all of it is real. It feels like some of it is artificial. I don't know who it is. Whoever's asking, who was that? Someone's asking about this person. Like if Michael Murdad. So like if I go, okay, Michael Murdad, yeah, I see like a little broccoli tree above him. And then I see another tree over here, and I see his higher self over here. So he's under like a false impression about something. Maybe he's pulling in information. I don't know. I don't know. It's if you want to fill me in a little bit about who this person is. Oh, he has a spiritual center in Sedona, Arizona. Oh, okay. Well, not meaning he's a bad guy. Doesn't mean he's bad. It just means, I mean, sometimes people get, guides in their field that are maybe calling through stuff that's a little bit not their higher self. It feels like all he needs is a healing, and then he'll go boom, boom, and he'll be over in his real tree. So I know how it feels to have a center and have everybody think that you're like loaded rich and you can just give all your money and all your time and all your everything because you have a center. So he's probably experienced maybe a little bit of that. So let's see. Moris, so cool. And then, so does anybody else have any other questions? Because everyone always asks questions, and I always say we're going to answer them, and then we always get them at the very end, right when we're ending. Oh my gosh, I got so thirsty all of a sudden. Well, I can just channel the guides then if you want to. I watched Elon Musk last night, and I thought it was very funny that his kid's name is X.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody knows how he spells it, does he spell it X or is it? What did you say, Papa? E X
E
E
C
C.
E C K S or EKS for X. I don't know if his name is X or whether
Probably
it's
just X because that's what X.com
EC.
is, right?
Yeah, or ECKS. I mean,
Yeah, that's funny.
that's how people used to sign their name was with an X if they couldn't read.
Risa. Hey, Risa, how's it going? Risa Moran. Isn't that Risa? Didn't we work with Risa in real estate? That sounds
Mm,
familiar. But I feel like that's it. Anyways, Risa, headache. Okay, so the guys are saying. So anybody else have like extended headache that they're enduring? So I have this huge thing on my lip, and I figured out that my consciousness is expanded up to right here. I'm not activated in the crown completely. Now, what the guys are saying is you can be activated in your like spirit body, like activated, but like your higher self body may not be completely activated. And what we're becoming is our higher self in like a few days. Everyone's going to become their higher self, but some people's higher selves are not activated. Like it's like you haven't come to the realization that that part of you exists. You just don't. I mean, it's like little kids. They're not going to understand puberty because that's a bunch of years off. So if they're forced into a body that was having puberty, they would be like all like they wouldn't know what's going on. So a lot of people are just being forced into a more mature spiritual body than what they are able to handle or understand. So a lot of people that are having a lot of the headaches, it's because your energy body is being forced into energy centers that you haven't been in yet. So if you have headaches, water is a conductor of energy, so you just need to drink a lot of water, like plain water. Alkaline water is good. I like alkaline water. I got my alkaline water machine fired up and running the other day, even though it leaks everywhere. I have it in the sink and it's leaking, and I just I've been drinking my water because it's good. But water is an energy conductor. So the more energy you can conduct, the more you can do things that you love, like or go out in nature, or even though it's cold out, like if you can go somewhere and go swimming or be in water, hot springs, things like that. It's going to activate more of the energy centers within your body, and then just say a prayer and ask to be activated on all levels in all places and spaces within yourself, within your higher self, so that you can ascend with the planet. And that's it. I mean, very simply put, just ascend with the planet, because the planet is ascending. And the last time it ascended, everybody went nuts and we created a pandemic. So we just need to avoid doing that this time. And now that we know, we just need to, and what they're saying is, really, what I just saw the guys, they said, yeah, even up in Canada, they're saying that they said in Canada, they're saying that a pandemic is, or a flu pandemic is hitting. So people are getting into fear about flus and things like that up in Canada. Is that true? I don't know anybody in Canada. We have a few people here from Canada.
Well, I've always said that the flu shot is just a scam.
Oh yeah, they're
It's
just
just
injecting it into society.
they're going, okay, go get your flu shot. Beat the whatever. Go
Yeah.
get your flu shot so that you won't get sick. Well, what's in
But
the
so you can
flu
get everybody
shot
else
is,
sick.
yeah, what's in the flu shot is the virus.
Yeah.
And every year they give everybody this virus, and then the people who don't get the shot go home and they get sick because they got the virus in them, and they spread it in their family. And everybody goes, "Oh, we got to go get a shot." It's ridiculous.
Ugh.
There were no flu deaths during COVID
I know. The exact amount of flu, it's
because we didn't
someone
have any
says they had
flu.
the flu lately.
We
As
didn't have any flu
hell.
shots that year,
Yeah.
and so there was no flu. So anybody that takes a flu shot's an idiot, because what you're
No,
doing is
no, you're
you're
not an idiot if you took a flu shot. If you took a flu shot, you took it because you thought you needed to. But somebody just said that is X's name is spelled AEA dash 12. His real name is,
really.
wait, his real
Wow.
name is AEA dash 12.
AEA-12, and that's
And
X.
wait, it says his son's name is X slash EA dash X11 or something like that. That very interesting. 12. You know what's interesting about that is in our book, A Skeptic's Guide to the Soul's Journey, they talk about how everybody is a number, and how, remember Bill was number 12 and you
Yeah,
were like number 54 and I was number 63 or whatever,
yeah.
and we were all from A. He's literally named his kid A dash 12, like he's named it, like
Wow,
he's named his soul. But
wow.
where's the E come from? What I need to, it makes me think of the fact that influenza A and B are high in the States. Okay. Yeah, so there are bird flu scares. Oh my goodness. Okay, so whatever you guys do, don't get scared of any sort of like flus or
Yeah,
viruses or
don't
anything like that, because
stay out of fear.
it's just us going through the energy centers. It's like when you have different energy centers that are activated, anybody that's been attuned to Reiki by me or by anybody will know that after you get attuned to Reiki, it's almost like you feel sick. It's almost, you just don't feel right. And it's because you're being activated in different areas of your body that you haven't been activated before. So just know that the planet's shifting, everything's changing, and just don't give in to fear like we did last time in 2020. And everybody started freaking out, including myself. Thought we were going to die, thought our parents were going to die, thought everyone was going to die. And then we started freaking out, and then that created what was created. The upper respiratory illnesses is because of the fact that we're moving from the solar plexus up into the crown. So it's like a lot of people just got stuck there at the heart, like at the chest, and then like it was the coronavirus. I mean, it's like the crown. It's the planet ascended, and we're ascending more because what happened was when we went into COVID and all that, everybody dropped back down into fear. So now we're going back up to where we should be, where we were back in December of 2019, when we were ascended up into creator consciousness. So it's hard to explain. This is my higher self, and this is looks like Risa. That's funny. Risa's higher self came in. She's standing there. And then Anna says upper respiratory illness has been spreading in New Jersey and in Portugal. Interesting. So the respiratory illness is that because people aren't activated in people that are not activated in those areas are going to feel like those areas are like dead within themselves. So how do they fix it? How do they fix it? So my higher self says they don't fix it. They just become aware of those areas. Something like breath work. Breath work would be something that would be great for people to do right now. Just simple breath work where you listen to music and you like, where you breathe like you're in labor, like you're giving birth, but you breathe 2 breaths in, 1 breath out, 2 breaths in, 1 breath out. And this will bring air and oxygen into the body. People would not believe how much we don't breathe. People don't breathe. And if you notice throughout the day, you'll notice you're holding your breath. at times. And when we're in fear, what do? We hold our breath. So just breathing, doing something like breath work, something like yoga, walking, running, doing anything that's physical with your body is going to keep your body going. It's going to activate it. And just the mere intention of activating your entire body, your entire higher self, is going to eventually bring you into that state. All it takes is being around somebody who's already activated to get activated. And it's like the flu. You get around someone that has the flu, they give you the flu. If you get around somebody that's activated, they're in their higher self, they're fully activated all the way to their crown, they're gonna bring you up to their frequency, just like as we were speaking of John the Baptist before. John the Baptist was at a frequency, he brought Jesus to that frequency. Then Jesus brought John to that frequency. Then they brought all the apostles to that frequency. So they were able to send out healing, do healing on people because they were up at a certain frequency within their own bodies. But back then they were only activated up to the very top of the solar plexus. So the frequency of the planet was very, very much lower than it is today. If someone wants to go back into the times 2,000 years ago, you would all be magical. You would all be able to just throw things with your mind because of the fact that the frequency of the planet was so much lower at that time, because Earth wasn't ascended. Earth wasn't in its higher self the way it has entered into at this time. That's kind of exciting that the planet is smarter now, or more ascended, or whatever.
A couple days ago, I think it was on Monday. We were kind of on the same subject about how we stay healthy and how we avoid fear and getting into darkness and what have you. And you had mentioned vitamin D, and I said, well, sunshine, I don't need to take vitamin D. I'm in the sun every day. And basically what he said was, we need to go out. Everybody needs to go out and get 5 minutes of sun on their face every day. They just need to go outside and sit outside under the sun and let the sun sit on their face for at least 5 minutes. And that apparently will make people more healthy, and it'll give them a better disposition as well.
And who said that?
You said it.
Oh, I said it. Oh, I'm like, that's very smart.
Yeah, no, that you said that on Monday.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I think that was Jesus that talked to us then, said, just go and get some sunshine, get some sun on your face.
It's true.
You know, and that's going to give you the positive energy you need to overcome the negativity that you're going to face during the day.
Yeah, when
So
we're in darkness, we get depressed and sad and all that. I go back with people where it's dark.
amazing, yeah, it's amazing how therapeutic the sun is. Get some sun, people. Get some sun. You're not going to get skin cancer. Just get your face in the sun for 5 minutes.
They say that skin cancer comes from the sunscreen. The sunscreen is what has like cancer causing things inside of it. I believe
nobody ever had skin cancer. When I was growing up, we would lather ourselves with coconut oil.
Yeah,
we'd be greasy, oily to get nice and brown. Yeah. Nobody had skin cancer. It wasn't until they started to come out with copper tone and wear this, protect yourself from the sun. No, and then they found out that it's all the chemicals in the sunscreens that are causing the cancer.
Exactly.
Which is really stupid. So anyway, you're not going to be dead if you go put some sun on your face 5 minutes a day.
Sunspots on your face? I don't know about sunspots. I have a really bad sunspot right here, Tish, that I do not like. I want to get it removed somehow. But somebody said is that, to be on a different subject, somebody says, is Course in Miracles a valid channel book from Jesus? And I heard yes and no. So that was the answer to that. Anna says, is it a valid channel book? That's something that Steve is really into, is the Course in Miracles. And then Tina says, do they stay in the frequency once lifted? Yes, Tina. Once you're lifted to a certain frequency, you're activated. Doesn't mean that you can't fall back down into like the lower energy centers where you're going to experience the lower emotional realms. Just kind of like our 12-story building. You know, you can go up to the 12th story and you can be up there with Christ and you can be in there in all your glory and feel amazing. But then, you know, you go in and your husband's like, rah, 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 or you go home and your wife's like, nah, 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 and that drops you down. And now you're down in like a lower energy center and you're experiencing the lower emotions and you're like, ah, and you explode or whatever. But the fact that we're able to go back up to that higher frequency, that our body's able to go there, makes it easier for us to rise up into forgiveness because we know what it feels like now. So yeah, once you're activated, but it doesn't mean you're going to stay there. You're not going to be walking around levitating, walking through walls and being like, oh, nobody bugs me. You're still going to get irritated if somebody cuts you off on the freeway, probably. But maybe you won't chase them down and flip them off this time. Maybe you'll just go, oh, maybe they're going through something right now. Somebody says,
Everybody's going through something right now. Everybody's going through something. It's
I
just
think
life.
so. Yeah, I
Everybody
think
has
so.
something going on in their life that they wish was not going on in their
Even
life.
kids do. Even Matthew's like, his foot is hurt right now. It's really bothering him. But it's like he's I caught him with these little Q-tips that he stole. My little makeup removing Q-tips. He stole them and he had them in his backpack, and some kid had made fun of him because he had some stuff inside of his ear. And so yesterday I said, Matthew, I said, do you need a Q-tip to clean your ear or whatever? And he goes, yeah. He says, I'm still not friends with Hunter. And I was like, why? And he says, because he made fun of him having something in his ear. And I said, no, look at him. Be grateful that he said that. At least like Carter, like the little girl he likes, didn't notice it in your ear. At least your friend told you that it was there. But it's like he has this little grudge against this kid in his class. But I'm thinking like, wow, it's a 6-year-old grudge. It's like a 6-year-old
Wow.
like little thing. He like wounded his pride or something like that. But it's like even like little kids have like these things. Or Madison, she forgets to bring this toy to her friend that they're going to trade at school, and like she's just like got this doom and gloom dread within her stomach the whole day. Like, oh, I forgot Annabelle's toy, or whatever. It's just funny how we all have our own little dramas, and some of them are like we look at other people's drama and go, oh, that's just tiny. But everybody's drama is their drama, and
Yeah.
we can't discount anybody's drama because it is what it is. Someone says their flu is not normal. Giselle Sparkles. Giselle, the flu you said was not normal that you just had. No, it wasn't just the flu though. You had flu and it was like something else. That the energy center between your heart and your throat look like you're stuck in between like in an elevator. You're going like like trying to like get up past the throat. Interesting. Well, just ask to have your higher self take you up to. I'll boost you up if you want me to. That's easy. It's like boom. Oh, there. I just hit. If I have permission, give me permission, and I'll put you up into the past that area. I feel like she's like hanging out the back of her body, going, I'm stuck. Interesting, interesting, interesting.
When I
Anyway,
first when I first came on, I interrupted you. You had three things you wanted to ask of Peter, and then I said, "Well, I've got something to ask," and I said, "You go ahead," and you said, "No, you go ahead."
yeah.
We haven't got back to those three things
Oh,
that you
Peter.
wanted
Okay,
to
what it
ask
was
Peter.
was John the Baptist really Christ? That's what I wanted to know. Was John the
Okay.
Baptist really Christ? So here comes Peter. Okay, so Peter looks different now. Peter, it looks like I see Peter, the dancing Peter, the wee like happy like dancing around Peter. I see him like way down there, but Peter is like he reminds me of those guys that like are like they hold like the light above their head. He's holding like a light, and he has like a shepherd's hook, and he's in like a white like hood and white robes. I've never seen him look like that before. He's holding a light up above. Is that his left hand or his right hand? It's his left hand. His right hand has
We know
the
him as a funny guy. We know Peter as a funny guy, but Peter is extremely smart. And
yeah.
how else can I describe him? He's godly, yet
Yeah,
he likes to come into us in in kind of a funny way. So
yeah, like a jokester way.
you're probably seeing the more serious side of him right
Hmm.
now.
Yeah, he's saying, as I step into this energy today, I bring into you a warning that the ability to go between the small self and the big self right now is something that you will not notice when you switch back and forth unless you ask to see. He says, you see my small self, and then you see me. This is me. I am I. I am you. You are me. Understand that when pieces of ourselves, pieces of us enter into thee, he's talking all big, into thee, you will see that which you have the capacity to see. So if you are seeing me dancing around, playing around, this is because this is what you are expanded into at that time. When you're expanded into a greater aspect of thee, you will see the equivalent of me. So when you begin to look and ask to see Yeshua, you see Jesus, you see this being, you will see that down below me, because what you must understand is Christ. Christ is the understanding that you must see. not the name Jesus, not the name Yeshua, not any of the names that come with the story that is the Bible. What you must understand is the Christ collective, the Christ consciousness, the Christ mind is that which you must attain, not a man, not Jesus, not someone who has died. You must attain that which is the Christ within each and every one of you, and each of every one of you have that within you. And human beings have been deterred, have been your minds have been skewed in the sense that you're worshiping a man that died rather than worshiping the peace inside of you that is eternal. And when you can worship that peace inside of you that's eternal and you can step into that eternal self, you can do anything. You can be anything. You can see anything. But the only thing that will take you down is fear. And this is something that's taught in the Bible that when fear is released, I could walk on water. And the story, as the story goes, it's Jesus, and Jesus could walk on water. But understand that what we are saying is going out of fear rises you up out of the illusion of life. You're living in an illusion. You're living in the illusion of a reflection. You are God in essence. You are Christ staring down upon an ocean. And that ocean has a reflection. And that reflection from the sun and from you shines down, in that reflection in that body of water believes that it is you. It believes that it is you. And that is in essence Christ becoming the antichrist underneath the water. Underneath the water is where the fear is, where you begin to suffocate, where you do not breathe anymore. So what you must do is ask that you become the full embodiment of the Christ that you are. Ask that the spirit within you expand and grow into that, and you'll begin to see life completely different. If you look at another man, if you look at someone who's died, if you look at man-made writings as a way of ascending through your body, you're not going to get there. You have to get there in understanding and knowing that there's many stories that tell of a Christ. There's many stories that tell of a Savior. There's many stories throughout all eternity that all tell of the same story: the virgin birth, the man who dies for the sins. This is a repetitive story throughout all eternity on this planet. But what you must see is that when you can ascend into your full self, just call it your full self, not your higher self, not your lower self, call it your full self. You expand into your full self. This is when you can truly, truly live, because you can go through all of the human emotions and you won't get stuck in one. As long as you don't have fear mixed in there, you won't get stuck in one human emotion. You'll be able to go through all of them, let it go, and keep on moving. And this is the whole point of Command to Earth, is to master the human emotions. Once you master the human emotions, you are a Buddha, you are a Christ, you are someone who has mastered these human emotions, and then you're able to live a human life while mastering these human emotions, so that you don't get angry, so you don't get vengeful, so you don't live in sin, basically. So you don't live in sin, you don't live with the 7 deadly sins, which all are some sort of range of on the accordion of fear. So just know that fear is going to hit everybody very hard over the next few weeks. Just don't fall into it. Don't believe it. Don't even process it. Just go, oh, this is what was going to happen. That's right. And then just let it go. If you don't have to watch, if you don't want to watch TV, or you don't want to listen to other people talk about the world, just don't do that. Just don't do it. Just let it go, and just know that it's all part of the illusion trying to keep you under the water. Rise up, live out of fear, and just know and understand that you are protected, you are loved, and you are truly, truly your full self. But you think that you are that little tiny self, like the dancing me down there that you always see. That's because you're in that little self. But now you have the capacity to be your full self. Be it. Do it. We love you. Well, my mouth got really dry.
Can I ask one question? I know
Yeah.
you wanted to hold this to 45 minutes, and we've already gone over 45.
Oh, okay.
But one quick question. You say get out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody who's a parent lives in fear every single day, not for themselves, but they fear something bad happening to their kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we live in fear every day, and we pray. I like to put the armor of God around everybody within. As I told Alexis yesterday, I said, I love all those who I have spawned. And so I do. I ask for protection for everybody that's here on this earth because of me.
Mm-hmm.
but we still live with that fear. I fear that something's going to happen to Tawny when she crosses the street. I worry about you guys when you guys were teenagers. I worried that you're going to commit suicide because of a breakup with a boyfriend or
Yeah.
somebody bullying you at school. I mean, that's the kind of fear that parents live with. So, Jesus, how do we overcome that fear?
He says, and this is the fear that the Father feels when the Father turns itself over unto creation and says, go do with your free will what you will do. And there was that fear, and that out of that fear came the Antichrist. So it's a normal thing for one's creation to cause fear within the creator's heart. So the thing that we recommend, the thing that we say is know and understand that everyone has a plan. Everyone has a plan, and what is meant to be. And this isn't to say let your kid go run around in traffic. This is be there for your child, understand your child, notice warnings with your child when they're asking for help. Don't be ungrounded. Don't be more attentive to a child on television than you are to your child at home. Be attentive to your child, and so long as you are, they will live their soul's path. They will live your soul's path. You will live in harmony. When you feel that gut feeling, when you feel that fear feeling, that real fear feeling, sometimes that is us giving you warning to call them or say, hey, what's going on with this? Because fear is an indicator that something is going on. It's the unfounded fear. It's the fear that where you're being provoked by the media or you're being provoked by other people. But when you feel that fear inside of you, this is sometimes a
Intuition.
warning. Yes, exactly. And there's a difference between fear because the media is going, oh, look what Trump is going to do, or look what this is going to do, and look at all the flu cases and the bird flu and the this flu, and everyone's going to die, and you're all going to die, and you're all going to die. That's a different type of fear. Fear, the feeling in your heart, the feeling in your gut that you get when you just know something bad may happen, so you take action to it. You don't just sit there and go, oh, I'm in fear that my kid's going to kill themselves, but then you don't call them. You don't say, hey, what's going on with you? I know that it feels like something's going on. I feel it. Can you explain it to me? So just being in open communication with your children and being there for your children is going to keep them safe. It's going to keep them safe. And that fear that you have inside likely was probably something going on when your kids were teenagers, or likely something was going on. And when you get that fear, don't discount it. Don't discount it. Don't say, oh, I can't be in fear. But it's what we speak of with fear is the unfounded fear, the fear that's caused by outside sources that is not necessary. It's more of like a collective fear is what we're speaking of. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay,
does
good.
make sense.
Yeah,
Good.
cool.
Okay, I think you need to wrap up. You can
Yep.
explain what you got going on a little bit later from now.
Yep,
And
I've got school. I'm in AI school. I'm excited. So I'm going to go to class for
no,
two
but
hours,
isn't today's
and then I have
Wednesday?
class
Aren't
tonight,
don't
and then I have meditation tonight. So I'll be posting the link for class tonight, guys, on patreon.com/, discovering intuition. I've got two pages on there. I need to delete one of them because it's very confusing for people. But just go on there. It's patreon.com/, discovering intuition. And Patreon finally lets you follow me for free. You don't have to pay any money to follow me, and you get all my posts and everything. It comes in an email, and I give you the link to come to class. And then you can pay when you get there, or if you can't pay, we can work something out. It's all good, but meditation should be fun tonight. And then I have my AI class for 2 hours. I'm going to UNLV, taking a 6-week course right now on AI, which has been pretty interesting, very interesting actually. I like it. So class at regular. Oh no, I'm sorry. Class is going to be. I'm sorry, at 6:30 because my class ends at 6. It's 4 to 6. So we'll do class at 6:30 tonight, and I'll make the announcement on Patreon if that's okay with everybody. Okay. So I will see you guys later. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay. This answers
right?
question today more. Thank you. Love you too, Pam. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for coming, watching. We'll be here. Today is Wednesday. I keep thinking today's Friday. It's so weird. I'm so thrown off this week. So thrown off. Okay. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. All right, Papa. I'll see you tomorrow. Love you.
Okay, love you too.
I'm gonna end this now and.